It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hey folks, welcome to the Flying Whippet Production Studios. I am Drew along with Bob. And then there was two.
Yeah, apparently.
Drew and Bob.
Second week in a row, two people.
That's okay, man. The feedback we're getting from our fan base is just phenomenal.
As long as I'm not getting feedback through the board.
Well, anyway, you guys know how to reach us. Spotify, Apple, To the Max Sports, Google it, hit like, subscribe, we get all that fun stuff out of the way. It helps put this show on again. Open invitation. I got the Penguin here tonight, but anyone wants to step up, bring a hot sports opinion, bring it here, bring it to me. And if we disagree, all the better. But you got to reach out to Bob via Twitter. He calls it on the Twitter.
On the Twitter. Yeah, I actually invited one of my friends, and I was told that he'd come, but I had to promise not to be rude.
Well, that's impossible. And I haven't seen your tweets or your twits, so
yeah, well,
see if we've offended anyone. But hey, hold on, man. Get this crap. What's this? Get that Cowboy jersey out of here.
Yeah.
Put this up.
Okay.
We got Baylor. I mean, we're having a good basketball team. That's for Max.
Yeah, let's put a jersey on a sport that may not play.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay, yeah. So folks that are just listening to the podcast and can't see the visual of Drew throwing around jerseys,
I'm trying to get my headset right.
Yeah, he just chucked a Cowboys jersey and put up an Oakland A's jersey. So yay,
Yeah, something.
Are you breaking the head? Are you
What
breaking
a
the headphones?
debacle, man! Do you watch that Cowboy game? Just full disclosure, I'm a Bengals fan. Everybody knows that, or now you do. But you know, I've enjoyed for years watching this shit show called The Cowboys. And it's just so freaking entertaining watching different ways that they lose. And by God, if they didn't do it again.
Oh, come on. First of all, the only reason that game was close is Frisco let him back in the game.
Okay.
And what entertains me to no end is to watch the life cycle of a Cowboys fan as they go from, hope and dreams, and then they get dashed a little bit, and then they have a great record. Their record outside of the NFC East was 6-9.
Yeah, they suck. And they didn't beat any team with a winning record outside of their division.
No. So any Cowboy fan that thought that you were going to beat up on a team that played in the NFC West, you were a little delusional.
They might have been, but I've seen Garoppolo, and I'm like, that guy, he sucks most of the time. Mm. And Bosa, they even get Bosa out of the game, and you got CeeDee Lamb in 1-on-1 coverage, and he's a ghost. And then pull up this other clown.
Oh,
this clown. This guy took the money, and he said, "I'm taking the money, and I'm going to put on a midriff." And I don't know what the hell I become.
He's saving money with fabric.
He must be, because he's out of shape there. I know that was last year, I think, but after the fifth game, that was his last 100-yard game.
Well,
and he disappeared in the game Sunday.
Yeah, let's.
Natty Light, in case anybody's wondering.
The Cowboys had 14 penalties, which that many penalties is a coaching problem.
Yeah. Does Mike McCarthy get fired if you're the general manager?
I think there's two questions in there. Should he get fired, and will he get fired? Should he get fired? Yes. Will he get fired? I don't know if Jerry Jones pulls the trigger.
Listen, you can go back to our shows on Hard Knocks where we were talking about the Hard Knocks when we first started this pod. And I said back then, this is an undisciplined team. This is a team that has a bunch of superstars that remind me of the rich kids I went to high school with, maybe trust fund kids that didn't have to work for anything. It was all just handed to them. Jerry gave them the keys to this beautiful house, this incredible practice facility. He gave them way more money than most of them deserve. In return, they give him nothing. It's a clown show. And the coach, there's one thing, a coach can't suit up and play the game. So I always thought a lot of times, when they talk about this and that of a coach, at the end of the day, all they can do is put the best players in place. And that's what McCarthy has. He has a quality team. He has a quality defense. He has Dan Quinn, who took the team from like 26th in the league in defense down to 7 or 8, I think. You can look it up. And he'll probably get a coaching job. I think he'll probably be with Denver, maybe the Giants. But at the end of the day, a coach's only job is to mentally prepare your team for the most important game that they're playing that Sunday. And that team looked horrible. 14 penalties, it's just inexcusable. Gregory, even on the defensive end, the slap to the head of helmet of Garoppolo, which, took time off the clock and gave him another 30 or 40 seconds that Cowboys had to use valuable timeouts.
Yeah.
And then the play calling at the end. I mean, the golden rule in football is that when you're running out of time and you're trying to score, what do? You catch the ball, you run the ball, and you get out of bounds. And not to pull off a play, at least a Hail Mary at the end, it was a joke, dude.
I mean, to kind of roll that back a little bit, I was disappointed in my guys. And of course, I own the 49ers, so they're my guys. A couple,
they played well.
Those first plays on that last drive where they weren't protecting the sidelines and they ran out of bounds really, really quickly, and then they protected the sidelines. And that last play, that quarterback draw, I don't have a problem so much with the play call. I have a problem with Dak Prescott's situational awareness to know how much time is on the clock and running too far. If he had slid down at about the 30, I think it's a pretty decent play call. But he didn't.
Yeah.
So when you have players that don't have situational awareness at the end of the game, where do I put that blame? Do I put that blame on the players, or do I put that blame on the coaching staff, going all the way back to minicamp of working through these scenarios of, okay, it's a 2-minute drill where we're down, we need to score a touchdown, we're at the 50-yard line, and it's 18 seconds. Is that enough time to take a quarterback draw and kind of figure out where that break is?
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Well, I guess you can always Monday morning quarterback, but to me, it's an incredibly risky play. I've never seen it at the end of a game in my 50 some odd years of watching football. Maybe a rollout where he has an option to run and do that or pass. And I get it that they're trying to get a little bit closer to the end zone, but with 18 seconds, it's just a play that it was just a high risk play.
Well, no, it was 14 seconds. And the other lack of preparation by the coaching staff and the lack of prep to the players, the rule is the umpire must touch the ball before they can snap it. Yeah. They were in the way of that umpire, and the NFL has changed the rules. That umpire used to be in the defensive line. Yeah. He was actually trailing the play a little bit, and he really kind of lollygagged a little bit, but he's doing as much of his job. And then he had to run through Dak Prescott and the center to get to the ball.
Yeah, I mean the umpire hustled to the ball to the play quicker, I think, than the rest of the Cowboys did, because they still had to run up, spike it. You got to hope there's not.
Yeah, if you're Dak Prescott, you slide down, you pop up, you get the ball, you find somebody in a zebra shirt and go, here's the ball.
Yeah.
So, but lack of preparation, lack of coaching, that coaching staff needs an overhaul. However, I think the problem is higher up. If we go back over the years, I don't think we've had either a good coach to coach that team, or we've had a good coach and they've ended up not rising to expectations. And I think the common denominator in all of those situations is one man whose initials are JJ.
I agree. I mean, Jerry Jones is, as long as he keeps on hiring sycophants that are just going to tell him what he wants to hear, and trying to be friends with the players instead of being their coach, it's we're going to run into this over and over again. The team needs a disciplinarian. They need someone who's going to be like a Jimmy Johnson and cut a B-level player who falls asleep in a team meeting. But as long as they run around and pat each other on the fannies and talk about how great they're going to be, they're going to continue to suck. And we're going to see it year after year. And personally, I'm going to find it highly entertaining, just like I do every year.
Though if Jerry Jones is listening, if you pay me enough money, I will be a sycophant and tell you can do no wrong.
Hey,
I have my price.
A lot of people have taken Jerry's money, and he seems like he's happy to give it. Well, speaking of umpiring, there is a crew that's not going to be working any more games, and they sucked. And that was in the Bengal Raider game. There was some controversy about whether that play would have mattered. Personally, I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm a little homerish. And I thought they got some bad calls, some weird timeouts that happened after long plays.
Yeah.
But the ball was in the air. I don't think that whistle caused any reaction other than after the play was over. Everyone's kind of like, what? Is it good?
Yeah. Though by rights, what I didn't quite understand is when we watched the replay and listened to the replay, it was very plain that the whistle did occur while the ball was in the air.
Hey, don't you love the NFL trying to cover their asses and say that it was after the play? That's like,
well, yeah. Well, like, I mean, the officiating crew said that on the field. So
they were bad.
Well, here's the other interesting thing about the playoffs for the NFL is during the regular season, those are crews that work together week in, week out.
I know.
When we get to the playoffs, these are hand-picked crews.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it, but if you didn't like that officiating, you don't have to worry about these guys doing any more of it.
Yeah, I really think they should go to grading out the crews and rewarding them, because there is some continuity and they're not aware of each other's tendencies. And so it would be like me and you throwing together a show with a bunch of strangers that we've never worked with before. It's probably going to be a clusterfuck.
And we welcome the clusterfuck. So if there's any strangers out there that want to come on the show, please don't take that as we don't want you to come on.
Yeah, we want you, man. Just bring a game.
So what about the other games?
So we're done with the rate. So do you feel like the Bengals earned that? They won that game?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The Raiders had run out the clock.
Yeah.
The fact that they were there was a surprise. They ran out the clock. And
why are they looking for a coach? Keep that guy. I mean, that guy deserves to get a contract. Their coach.
Yeah. I
mean, he's been through a lot. And for everything that team has been through, to even have him playoff ready and competitive playoff ready, I personally, I think he deserves a second chance.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if I'm a Raiders fan, do I want a name that I may or may not know? I mean, I didn't know this guy before he took over as the interim head coach.
And that's the problem with today's NFL. You got to get a big, sexy name, and we've seen how that works out for the Cowboys. I thought Culley got screwed in Houston. All I'm looking for is a guy that can put together a team. I mean, he had nothing to work with, and the teams were competitive. They didn't lay an egg, and I think if Quinn goes, Dallas should actually pick up Culley. He's a great defensive mind, and my prediction, Quinn probably goes to maybe the Giants. I understand he's interviewing with them, or the Broncos. But here's the thing with the Broncos, and I may be wrong. I think they're going to make a play for Rodgers as long as Rodgers is out there saying I'm available. But then they may wait. That'll probably be one of the last teams to name a head coach because I think they want to see what old Aaron wants to do. And who do you want, Mr. Rodgers? That's what the Broncos are doing right now because they're one quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team, in my opinion.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Given some of their most recent rumblings that the analysts and the journalists were talking about coming out of Green Bay, I think it's a better than 50-50 chance he stays in Green Bay.
Yeah, it's better than it was at the start of the season.
Now, I think it's even better if they win the Super Bowl, but we're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah. It just depends on how angry he is. I think Super Bowl win will cure a lot of ills. Yeah, I think they'll figure it out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Then we had the Pittsburgh game. By the way, stick around, folks. We're going to have some hot sports opinions. We didn't miss any of our predictions, but this weekend we're going to have some really good games, and I'm going to make you some money if you stick around.
Well,
but that game was pretty much. It was what I thought it would be.
It was the Pittsburgh defense made it a little bit competitive at the very beginning. Where I was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. And then Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City offense just turned it on and just buried them.
Yeah, the adrenaline rush was over, season over. You got to watch an aging quarterback kind of sadly play out the rest of his career. And I think he was as surprised as anybody to still be playing. And he more or less predicted before that, we're going to get our asses kicked. So
and
there wasn't a lot of.
They moved the ball. Was that the game that? Yeah, that was Mahomes did throw to a lineman at one point in that game. So that's always fun for me is to see a lineman catch a touchdown pass.
And did you take your nap during the Tampa Bay Eagle game like you said you were?
I didn't really watch it. Unfortunately, I was on a professional engagement later in the day, so I missed the 49er game. But I had no desire to watch that Eagle Buccaneer game.
Yeah, I missed that, but that was pretty standard fare there. And then the Ram game, I did say that I thought the Rams would win, not because I thought they were particularly better than the Cardinals, other than their defense. And sure enough,
the Cardinals laid an egg.
Well, they've been backsliding for the last couple of weeks.
But so have the Rams.
Not as bad.
Okay, fair enough.
Defensively, not as bad. And that's where I thought what the difference would be. I thought that at the end of the day, the Rams have a better defense.
Well, they should for all the money they've spent on it.
Yeah, they've got it. Like Max said a couple of weeks ago, they've gone all in this year. So I think anything less, no team has made more aggressive moves and tried to acquire, star power players.
And we have a comment coming in from the YouTube. Apparently, Nancy from the River wants to know if you still want the blue mask, and I have no idea what that means.
The blue mask. I'm trying to wear as few masks as possible. I don't know if that was some bedroom fetish from 20 years ago, but
okay, let's move on. Let's just move on.
No,
before we even go down that rabbit hole.
I don't use the blue mask anymore.
Fair enough.
Oh,
see, folks, we actually do respond to your, or we read your YouTube comments.
Wrong show.
Well, it might. I mean, again, I'll do almost anything for money. It might become that show if you pay me enough. Okay, so
where were we?
So do we want to move on to this weekend?
Yeah, I think we're done with the past. I think that
first game Saturday. Well, do you want to go in order?
No, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Bengals at the Titans, and Titans are a 3.5 point favorite.
I don't know if the line's moved at all. I think it stayed the same. I mean, here's the deal. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I meant to look at the weather report. Maybe you can pull it up for Saturday. Being a Bengals fan, I'm just like stoked after 33 years or whatever it was. We finally got a win. Our offense, I'll put next to the Cowboys on paper. If you look at the Cowboys on paper, I'll put our offense up there against anybody's. to include LA or San Francisco.
That line opened at 3 and moved to 3.5.
Okay, so I mean, it's probably a fair line. It's really going to come down to the Bengals lost a key defensive end. I can't say his name, but he had like 7-9 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hurt. I really think we should stuff the middle. I don't know how Henry's going to come back. I'm assuming he's going to be, you got to assume he's going to be the 200-yard Derrick Henry, even though he's been out.
Oh, we'll see.
And then you just force Tannehill into some mistakes. That's the key. I don't think Burrows is going to make mistakes. The question's going to be, is our defense going to be able to contain Henry? And well, if they don't, then it's going to be a long day because Tannehill is going to be able to sit back in the pocket.
Yeah.
And the run always opens up the pass. But if they stuff Henry, hold him to 62, 70 yards, and they force Tannehill to throw 30, 35 times, Bengals have a chance.
Yeah, I'm actually picking the Bengals and the points in that game.
Well, I like to hear that. So I never bet with my heart. I'll be staying away from that game, but I will be cheering on the Bengals.
Okay, the next game we have on Saturday night, 7:15 p.m. in Green Bay at Lambeau. 49ers 6-point underdog.
Already laid my wager, got it to 5.5. It's going to be an ass kicking, 33-10, maybe 17. They'll let them score a late touchdown. Garoppolo meets his Waterloo. He's going to suck, and it's over.
If I pick any other way than the 49ers with the points, Joe Montana is going to come off a Skechers advertisement shoot and come and beat me up.
So other than you're an absolute 49er diehard fan, give me some reasons why you think they can go into Lambeau Field. I don't know what the weather conditions are going to be.
It's Green Bay. It's not going to be something we would like here in South Texas.
Probably going to be miserable.
Well, I'm
all ears.
In the playoffs, what travels? Defense and a running game. 49ers have the defense. Bosa's going to come back from his concussion. Nothing's going to keep him from coming back and playing in this game. The running game, they're very good, and Kyle Shanahan knows how to scheme. And as long as my X factor, my worry, my fear, the thing that keeps me up at night and I sleep really well is Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a very, very good quarterback, as opposed to you who think he sucks. But he just has these moments.
Let's just say when he sucks, he really sucks.
When he has these moments where it's like he loses. And I think it was interesting that statistically in the first half, he was really, really good against the Cowboys. I mean, he lit those Cowboys up.
Yeah.
And the second half, it all fell off. And the injury report came out. He sprained his shoulder a little bit in the second quarter, which gives me a little bit more confidence that he's going to be the first half Jimmy G from Dallas, Dallas game, the whole game against the Packers.
Let me ask you something. You know, the week before that, you said I got this second half Jimmy G, and he looked like shit the first half. So what you're telling me is what I know is the guy cannot put together a complete game. And when you're in Green Bay in January on the road, unless he puts a complete game together, it's lights out, bro.
Last 3 playoff games between the Packers and the 49ers. Okay. What's the record?
Well, 20 years ago, I used to be cute and handsome and get lots of women.
I don't believe that.
I don't.
Pictures or it never happened.
I don't go back to the past.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, but I do. And we have owned the Packers in the playoffs. So it's defense, running game, Kyle Shanahan, and we win that game. And Aaron Rodgers goes off and tries to figure out what to do with his unvaccinated, immunized person.
You know what a guy told me a long time ago, and it's kind of interesting, Bob. Tell me what you think. Because when I used to get my ass kicked in sports betting, he said, don't worry about the team. Don't worry about the line. Take the quarterback. Which quarterback is better? And then you bet that team. And you know what? I'll be damned if that guy wasn't right. Quite a bit. It's amazing how many lines he covered just saying, at the end of the day, which quarterback would you take?
Okay. I'm just going to get laughed out of the 49er fan club if I don't pick the 49ers.
I get it.
And I think they could win. Okay. First game on Sunday, Rams at the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a 3-point favorite.
2 quarterbacks. Which one would you take?
You put a gun to my head and I have to pick Tom Brady.
Of course.
Consistently over time. Yes, Tom Brady.
Please don't tell me you think the Rams are going to win.
Well, I actually have a friend of mine who got into a little bit of a tiff over text, and I'm actually taking all the underdogs this weekend. So I am taking the Rams in the points.
I hate to hear that. Well, how many points are they getting?
3.
Oh, you're fucked.
3.
Sorry, Mom.
Well, I mean, it's
okay. Here's the deal.
The Buccaneers this year are not the Buccaneers of last year. They have some holes, and I think if we get, again, this is one of those. The Rams need to play the game they had against the Cardinals, and I think we're good, and I think they're good.
They still got Mike Evans. They still got Gronk. They still got Brady. The only way they have a chance, and I will concede this, is because I do like that front line of the Rams. If you can stick a finger in Brady's face, get a hand in his face, you've got a chance. But I'll tell you what, Brady's sitting there right now and saying, am I going to lose a game to Matthew Stafford? Hell no. Hell no.
Well, 56% of the public betting money is going to the Rams.
Hey, man, there's a sucker every day out there.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I know that playing the stock market. So I'm going to go ahead and say 24. I think it'll be a fairly, surprisingly low-scoring game. 24-16 Tampa.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, they're still the defending champs. And the Rams, and Stafford is still Stafford. And that's another guy that has really never proven anything to me in his career. And now when he has a chance to be with the knock used to be, well, he was with Detroit. Detroit sucks. But no.
Okay. I think the Rams have a pretty good defensive line, and I think Aaron Donald is gonna say hi to Tom quite a lot.
If he does, they got a chance.
And then the final game of the weekend, we have the Bills going to the Chiefs, and it is a very slim 2-point line. Chiefs are favored by 2.
Already got my bet down.
Who do you got your bet down on?
Chiefs.
This is another game where I think Josh Allen can play lights out, and I'm going to take the dog in this game too.
Will the real Josh Allen please stand up?
Yeah. He's had some eggs, but then again, so has Mahomes. Mahomes has had some eggs this season.
But I like trends, and Casey has really been trending up the last couple of weeks. Now, having said that, Mahomes scares me a little bit too, because I saw him do some really stupid across the field throws in Pittsburgh that he won't get away with one of the best defenses in the NFL, Buffalo.
Yeah.
He won't get away with those kind of, fly by night, grab ass plays that he plays. But if he plays within himself, like I said, I've got 3 rules. I never bet against Seattle at home in December, January.
Okay.
I never bet against KC at home.
Okay.
In December, I just don't do it. So I think KC moves on.
Okay, so going back down the line, I'm going to rerun the games because I can't remember what you said. So you have the Titans over the Bengals. You're betting.
No.
You have the Bengals?
I'm going to take the Bengals.
Okay.
Now that's strictly because I think their offense is better than I just think Burrows is a better quarterback than Tannehill. I don't think Burrows will lose the game. I think Tannehill might.
Tannehill may very well be the lowest quarterback in the 8 that are playing this weekend. in my mind. He's a serviceable game manager, but he's not gonna do anything for me.
Right.
Anyway, so the next game you have the Packers.
The Bengals.
So you have the Bengals. I have the Bengals. Okay. You have the Packers. I have the 49ers. You have the Buccaneers because you won't bet against Tom Brady, and I have the Rams. You have the Chiefs, though Mahomes scares you, and I have the Bills.
So we're way off.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Except for that first game. Well, I kind of boxed myself into a corner during my text snippet.
There's an old Bible saying, "Pride before the fall." So you boxed yourself in. You said the key words.
Yeah.
You were thinking with your. You let the guy get in your head, and you made decisions based on his arrogance.
Well, I'm also playing the long game that if I'm right and I win this bet, it's going to pay off in more than just dinner.
It wouldn't be the first time you surprised me with some bets, though.
Yeah,
I'll have to admit. So I guess that's all for football. That's pretty much the bulk of it. Are we going to see any baseball this year? I know that you had said a couple shows ago that you weren't going to start worrying till
about right now, and I am starting to worry. Jeff Passan, during the pre-show we talked about this. Jeff Passan reporting just a few days ago that Major League Baseball made a proposal to labor, and it looks like that is dead on arrival. So the pitchers and catchers should be reporting in the middle of February, and I don't think that that's going to happen. I think we're going to lose spring training.
So you're saying they're going to blow it all up? They're going to screw it up again? You know, they remind me of the Cowboys, man. Right when I'm getting into baseball, right when I'm stoked, right when I'm watching my Reds, have a decent year.
I think when we were talking about this in November or early December, and I harken back to as they were negotiating the season last year, or no, the year before. Wow, I can't believe Corona's been here for 2 years. And they had the opportunity to come back and bring the game of baseball back to us on July 4th, which would have been picture perfect. And labor and management couldn't come to anything, couldn't come to something for the fans. And we didn't have baseball for about a month after that anyway. Then no.
Your TV just blanked out.
Okay, well, we're still going.
Okay. So yeah, it's a shame. We'll see what happens. Yeah, let me ask you a stupid question. They shut down everything, right? Minor league baseball.
Minor league baseball, and the way these rules are, that if you're in any position in management, including the coaching staff, you cannot have any contact with the players. So if one of your players that you really like was getting married and you were invited to the wedding, you can't go.
Well, it's a shame, but we'll see what happens. Folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you got a hot opinion about what we've talked about, go ahead and reach out to us, and we will see you next week.
Yep, next week we'll talk about getting ready for the conference championship games, and I am going to blow up this podcast, and we're going to talk about Winter Olympics.
Hoorah!
Okay. We're out, guys.